Honourable members, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, we don't have a quorum. I now suspend the Parliament until further ringing of the bell. Honorable members, we have a quorum. I now ask the member for Rabaul to lead us with prayer.
Let us pray. We speak to you, Father, in your presence. You are here with us, with each and every one of us, because your other name is omnipresent. So we praise you for this morning, and we thank you for your knowing everything about us individually as members of this Parliament. And we trust, O God, that you will continue to show us the way to know what is good governance for our people in this country, to know what it means to fear you, to know what it means to have a shift in our thinking as leaders of your people, not only to lead them, but to teach them and to give them messages that you give to us, to give to them, to teach them correctly. Father, we thank you. You are God, and you reign forever. Each of us here will disappear one day, but you, O God, are an everlasting God. This morning we commit our Parliament session into your hands so that your Holy Spirit shall guide us and show us the way to be able to know what is good for your people and to debate what is right for your people. This is our prayer, Father. Be with us now through the power of your Holy Spirit. Because in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we offer this prayer, and all of us agree together and say, Amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Honourable members, I have to inform the Parliament of the death on 10 March 2026 of Mr. Kila Aunda, a former member of the Central Province. He was elected to the 9th National Parliament 2012 to 2017. During that term, he served as a member of the Appointment Committee in August 2012 and joined the People National Congress. As a mark of respect to the memory of the late honourable gentleman, I invite all the honourable members to rise in their place. I thank the Parliament. Honourable members, I acknowledge the presence in the public gallery of grade 5 and 6 students and their teachers from Giant Jill Christian schools in the National Capital District. On behalf of the Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to you all. Honourable members, just to inform you all that all form must be put on flight mode or switch off. Time long ask him question you stop in so long. Parliament so me ask him all members your form must stop low. Silent. Public gallery, put your phone play you off. Time you sit down long gallery. Honourable members, any petitions, notices? Honourable members, question time, 4+10, 5 minutes. Honourable member for Rabaul.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. My question without notice is for our good Treasurer to respond to. Mr. Speaker, my question concerns good governance and the integrity of customs officers. Mr. Assistant Speaker, a shipping container was sent on a ship from Australia to Rabaul last year. It arrived in Rabaul on Saturday, the 27th of November, 2025. It took an unusually longer period for the container to be cleared. On the 22nd December 2025, the container got cleared. After spending so much on the container freight, customs clearance, and so much money that was spent on that, the shipping container was finally opened on the 14th of January 2026. And these items were missing from the container. One box with 500 packets of Panamax tablets, 20 packets of sanitary pads, 10 shampoo, 10 conditioner, 20 packets of Band-Aids, one box with 30 can openers, one box with various men's shirts, jeans and trousers, one box with 30 bath towels, one box with ladies' leggings, ladies' underwear and bras.
Honourable Member, sorry for interrupting you. Your question was directed to which minister?
Treasury.
Minister for Treasury.
Treasury, yes.
Thank you.
Oh, I said Treasurer. Okay, thank you. Mr. Assistant Speaker, nearly every box inside the container and all the items mentioned were missing. My question is, apart from honesty, what legal process does the government have to ensure such criminal thievery is not committed by customs officers and that there is proper accountability by customs officers? Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Honourable Minister for Treasury.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Honourable Member for Rabaul for his probing question into the affairs of customs. Any government, Mr. Speaker, must ensure that we have efficiency in the delivery of our containers to their destinations, and in that process ensure that there is no, and I quote him, thievery or any items that are stolen or mishandled and whatsoever. His question, what legal process has our government have to ensure that this does not continue. Mr. Speaker, we have the appropriate legislation that governs the processes of customs. The Customs Commissioner, using that legislation, can then decide to impose firstly an investigation, and based on that, if there's credible evidence, decide to take disciplinary measures and ultimately ensure that when we do recruit staff within customs, that they are individuals with integrity, they are honest, experienced, and have a background where such allegations have not been directed at them. That's been the process, Mr. Speaker, since we took office in 2019, and hopefully that process can improve with the appointments of honest, experienced officers in customs. Thank you.
The honourable member for Pololo.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. My questions are directed to the Minister for Police. And before I start, I want to also congratulate him on his appointment. My questions, I'd like the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Lands to take note also. There are many small Papua New Guineans that are falling victims to corruption and fraud involving our public servants. Let me be clear that we have majority of very dedicated public servants, but a few, a minority, that are trying to cripple this country. Our lack of attention and action is a major issue that is promoting this bad behavior, Mr. Assistant Speaker. The Public Accounts Committee during the Sir John Hickey days has branded that the most corrupt departments was the Department of Lands and the National Housing Corporation. My questions are related to the corruption and fraud and official corruption and conspiracy that happened, and it seemed to be still in place, as no actions are taken to date. Mr. Assistant Speaker, the questions relates to public facilities and land that were illegally transferred or stolen from the public. This relates to the land and assets of the Highlands Farmers and Settlers Association in Bans, Goroka, and Dumpu. Many letters and follow-up has been made to ministers and Secretary for Lands and also the Police Commissioner since 2015 to 2025, and no action taken to date. The Farmers Association filed a complaint with the Police and the Ombudsman Commission on the 25th July 2015 against the Registrar of Titles, Minister and the Secretary for Lands and Physical Planning in relation land called Bans Club, Goroka, Showground, and Hupai. Number one question. The National Court in Mount Hagen made a decision in 2010 that the transfer of titles for Bans Club, Section 18, Lot 1, Bans was fraudulent and specifically named the public servants from Lands Department. When will the police start arresting those public officers named? Number two, when will the police attend to complaints over the misuse of 5 million kina for the upgrade of the Goroka Showground on Section 12, Lot 1 and 2, Goroka? Number three, so many follow-up letters and evidence of land rent receipts and other information provided, but this has not gone anywhere since 2015. Are we going to wait another 10 years or wait for more illegal transactions and fraud to happen in this country, Mr. Assistant Speaker? Number four, is the Police and Lands Department going to give effect to court decisions, including national court decisions, or do the people go to court again to enforce the court decision? And finally, Mr. Assistant Speaker, the inaction by police over fraud and corruption is getting PNG into grey listing. The corruption related to land and assets will not attract investment. Is the government giving attention to the National Fraud Squad and giving them resources? A 10-year complaint and court decision is taking too long, Mr. Assistant Speaker. The association was established in 1953 and has history and connection to Bulolo district and continues to assist our people. Our country can progress when we address issues of corruption and law and order, and that provides stability and confidence for business and the society, and foreign investors and our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member for Bololo, sorry for your question asked to Minister for Police. Honorable Minister for Police.
Mr. Assistant Speaker, I thank the good member for Bololo for his questions, and I thank him also for availing the questions to me yesterday, and I answer as follows. Mr. Speaker, in respect to the specific police action referenced by the good honourable member, I am briefed that this matter has been subject to a lengthy court proceedings since 2010. As these legal proceedings are ongoing, it would be inappropriate for me to comment further in Parliament. However, Mr. Assistant Speaker, I will request the Commissioner of Police to conduct a review of the police action and judicial processes and provide a formal update to the good honourable member directly. Mr. Speaker, regarding the grey listing, while the FATF evaluation process is a journey to ensure our systems meet contemporary standards, our action should not be solely in response to an international list. Mr. Speaker, we must act for the good of our country. Mr. Speaker, the detection of crime, thorough investigations, and successful prosecutions should be the normal, Mr. Assistant Speaker, should be the normal and natural actions of law enforcement, rather than tasks compelled by international pressure. Mr. Speaker, to address years of inaction, the good Prime Minister, the Honourable James Marape, has taken decisive steps to bolster our investigative capacity. As a result, Mr. Speaker, 2 Commonwealth officers are now embedded within the National Fraud and Anti-Corruption Directorate to provide elite-level support and mentorship. Mr. Speaker, the country must also know that the Prime Minister is supporting the establishment of the Unexplained Wealth Investigation Unit under the Proceeds of Crimes Act, Mr. Assistant Speaker. If someone has riches that they cannot explain, Mr. Assistant Speaker, this unit will find out why. Mr. Assistant Speaker, let me be clear. No one, Mr. Assistant Speaker, should stand in the way of these key interventions. These are the tools that will not only assist in removing PNG from the grey list, but a necessary intervention not only to restore the integrity of our financial system, but to save, Mr. Assistant Speaker, our one and only country from corrupt and ill gains, money laundered, corrupt money and commission payments changing hands in places like Australia, Singapore, and the Philippines, etc. Mr. Speaker, let alone within the country. Thank you.
The supplementary member for Senator Yankubu.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. The Minister in his answers referred to means testing powers. when we were originally discussing where that power should be vested, especially during the drafting of the ICAC laws, some of us insisted that those powers should be vested in the organic law on ICAC. However, someone removed it, and that power, the opportunity to vest it within the ICAC organization was lost. Now I hear the minister saying in response to the question that he's going to give it to the police. With due respect to all the hardworking police out there, we don't really trust the police anymore to do a decent job. So giving these means testing powers to them is not going to help our cause anymore. Can I ask that the minister instead look at if he wants the proposal to be effective and Papua New Guinea be serviced by means and procedures by which people's unexplained wealth can be investigated properly and prosecuted, then he should look at putting it back into the ICAC law. So can he look at that?
Minister of Police.
I thank the honourable member for his supplementary question. I have, Mr. Assistant Speaker, sought the advice of the State Solicitor, and I am sure that I will have some advice from him and his guidance whether to have this unit set up as an independent unit away from the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. I know that ICAC is a very important institution, and these are some advices that I have sought from the State Solicitor for my consideration. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
For Middle Fly.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to ask a question without notice to the Minister for Education. Unfortunately, he's not here, but I know that the Minister for Higher Education is acting on his behalf. So I'll direct my question to the Minister. My question is in relation to the 166 policy rollout. The policy is a very good policy for our country and to support the education system in this country. However, as we have observed beginning of this year, the school year, this policy implementation was a very, very big challenge. I'm not sure about the other provinces, but especially what we have observed in Western Province. There were no classes because of no classrooms and no staff houses. The students couldn't even go to class. Most of the students were lining up outside and they couldn't go inside the classroom because the classrooms were full. And some of the teachers couldn't even go to those assigned schools because there was no staff houses. And those infrastructure challenges were very enormous. The TFF funding that is funded by the Education Department annually is not sufficient enough to address the pressure that is exceeded by the 160 policy. So my question to the good minister, Mr. Assistant Speaker, is that my question number one, what is your plan to support and address the 160 policy in the country so that the schools can effectively implement this policy for us? That is question number one. Question number two, is there any other funding apart from the TFF funding to support also to roll out the 160 policy? Thank you. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
The Minister for Higher Education.
Thank you, Member for Middle Fly, for that important question. I'm glad you brought that one up. I wanted to sort of give some background onto the 166 policy. before I answer the question, and I'm sure that will really send a strong message to all of us leaders here. As soon as I was appointed acting education minister, I asked Secretary to give me some data on our enrollments. And I was stunned to see the data for 2024. We enroll at elementary or primary school 437,653. That's the number of students we enrolled in 2024. By grade 12, that number goes down to 33,488. We lose around 93% attrition rate from elementary to grade 12. 50 or 40 or 30%, 93%. What happens to these young people? Where do they go? And big challenge now, big heavier for the country. And so I want to thank our Prime Minister for his vision on trying to close that gap immediately. So in response to the big problem that 166 policy came in, we can't, as a responsible government, allow our young people to just go off. And one of the main factors as to why we have this high attrition rate is simply because of space. Spaces in our primary schools and especially secondary schools and high schools to be able to enroll all these students. So, and big heavy country facing, big challenge for education department, and that's where 166 policy comes in. This year there's 100 million law support. Again, that's not enough, but I want to thank the Prime Minister and Cabinet. Straight after being appointed, we brought in a submission to Cabinet to quickly address this issue. And I'm happy to announce that the Cabinet approved 11.6 billion to quickly close that gap, building schools, classrooms, staff houses, dormitories, abolition blocks, textbooks, whatever that's needed to be able to close that gap immediately. So in terms of your specific question, 100 million staff law budget, plus as per this recent submission, we've also secured another 300 million. And I'm talking to, specifically for Western Province, talking to OCTEDI, and OCTEDI have given positive response to immediately support Western Province. But the the 166 policy is start one of the first 6 provinces, and that's Western Province, Hela, Enga, Western Islands, Jiwaka, and Eastern Islands provinces. And the reason why they are selected is because these provinces have already invested heavily in education infrastructure. So these are the 6 provinces that people are trialing out, and after that, it'll go out to the whole country. But I'm happy that Cabinet also, in its wisdom, have raised the importance and priority of that, that particular program to now be higher than Connect PNG in terms of importance and prominence, and funding support starting next year going forward. So yes, challenges will happen this year, but we'll try our best with the 300 that we've approved, and we're looking at bringing in ready-made modular buildings. Harap ready-made, come to solve fitting harap and close the gap and fitting those the needs. So yes, we are working, on full support, full speed, and we'll be able to close that gap at the earliest. Thank you.
We have 2 supplementary. I think I'll ask a member for Ejivitari. Member for Ejivitari. Your supplement.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Some of us, after boundaries were cut in the electorate, I am trying to build about 5 high schools. Na minister toko some only trial him out in other provinces, the 6 provinces, but on the ground, it's not what's happening. For me, Law Electorate Blominal Province, 166 is already in operation. And we are all struggling with the infrastructure, Bloodisla. So, question Blomi, supplementary Blomi Lem, is that when we designed this policy on 166, did we take the infrastructure development out at the component at the various districts into consideration in the whole country? Did we actually budget? Did we actually see how much it will cost us? Because this 10%, or 20% of the education sector in the DSIP cannot handle what we are doing now. I built over 30 classrooms already in this 4 years. And I'm struggling. I'm building teachers' houses, and I'm struggling. And so my supplementary, again, I'm repeating. Did we calculate the infrastructure component of it and how much it will cost the country, it will cost each district to execute and implement this 166 policy? Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
For higher education.
Thank you. Again, the government has been, I want to thank the Honourable Member, Honourable Arore, for the good question. Acting Speaker, Assistant Speaker, good block question. Government, again, we are not able to answer all the questions immediately, but we will answer it over time. And that's the reason why I said significant support of 11.8 billion will be funded over a 10-year period to cater for the need. But in the short term, yes, 20% of DSIP. Also, we have the infrastructure grant that our government has put. And so if your priority is education, which should be for most of us, then we should also use that to also build our classrooms and staff houses. So, again, that is where the need is. And I'm asking my staff to have a look on some of our policies again, and where we can cut on some of the expenses to be able to invest in infrastructure again. And in due course, I will report to the House again on how best we can do this. But Minister, Honourable Member, your concerns are valid. And obviously, by Harim's advice, some concerns you will raise him and work on adjusting and making cash available to be able to invest in the infrastructure. We're also looking at using technology, recorded lectures, all this kind. So, in some places, yes, just because there's no infrastructure doesn't mean you can't teach. In some places around the world, they use technology, recorded classes, just simple frame and canvas, and big something or mangi go to school. Play the teacher teaching in class or in a laptop or on a screen. So we look at innovative ways. If it's expensive on infrastructure, we can look at innovative ways to still be able to give access to our young people. I think the important thing, like I want to stress, is we must not leave our young people behind. One them road, you mean ablo painim, help more pinini, you must pain him, help him, and together, work together, bipartisan support to this. Thank you.
We have another supplementary. The member for above.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. It will be a very quick one. The Minister, in his response, disclosed some very, very serious statistics. The statistics on the attrition rate from elementary to grade 12 is a very, very serious one. And I'm wondering whether the Minister's statistics are actually correct. If the Minister could, in a separate session, make a ministerial statement for debate on the serious attrition rate of over 90%, 93%, that means, Assistant Speaker, we have a serious problem in this country, in this sector. And that issue has to be taken seriously by the government. And I'm asking the Minister, through you, Assistant Speaker, to prepare a statement tomorrow and we discuss this serious issue. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
The Honourable Minister for Education.
Thank you. I want to thank the member for Abao for his good supplementary. Me like him straight this line. In fact, when I saw the stats, I was alarmed. And I want to be able to, given an opportunity to present those stats here, so we can, both opposition and the government must support and tender title. We must change this for the good of our country. So appreciate your comments. Yes, I will, maybe not tomorrow, but next week. Thank you.
The member for Goroka.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Question blew me without notice and go along. Good blood working Forest Minister. But before me asking question, let me send up here, Maki Mouse, people of Goroka. Let me like look sour, governor belong, governor elect. I'm stopping them now, New Island. And I congratulating people of New Island. Appoint him Nupla governor. One can two go along. People of the day council, long appointed member of law.
Honorable member, sorry long interrupt me. Enough you straight him mic blue you now, you can talk so that you can hear him clear. Thank you.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. One kind to me like look sour long Maki Mouse people of Goroka. Go long Nupla opposition leader, na deputy opposition leader to play Siran long up. To play it last up, na well done on this appointment blue yudla. A question blew me without notice. Mr. Assistant Speaker, go lo Gupla Minister Blow. Forestry. In regards to Lapegu Forest Plantation in Chalong, Goroka District, Ungai Bena District, and part of Siane Province in Chalo Chuabe, I think. Mr. Assistant Speaker, me like asking question blow me so long. When I'm plan na ting belong Forestry Department, lo disla Forestry Plantation in Chalong, Goroka, na Eastern Islands. This Forestry, I'm all planning, I think, close to 30 years ago. Time Pangu Minister, Honorable former member, Yalibu Pangia, Mr. Pundia Kanga been stopped. Now I've been planning on this Duai come. Now this Duai now, I'm stopped close to 35 years now. Now I'm occupying big ground, all people of Goroka. Now Ungai Bena to one time. Since then, he coming up now. No God one block walk been come up. All this Duai ono been cut him. Now all Duai is stop idle nothing. Now I'm occupying ground, all people expensive, I'm walking garden. Now move on. Same time too, all Papa ground, benefit one block toya inside long this Forestry Plantation. Now me like ask him, good Prime Minister, going forward, when I'm plan belong him, this Forestry Plantation. I can explain him all people blow Eastern Islands, Nami Plak and Sour. Thank you.
The Minister for Forest.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Thank you, Truna. Me too, me like him slatam long. Congratulate him, opposition leader and him, Deputy Blam. Now at the same time, congratulate him, Nupla member of Long Day, the Nupla provincial member and the governor of Long New Island. Me like him slatam, Dr. Thank you, member of Goroka. Good pla Housekeeping. He come long, all walk long Forestry, inside long province Blam, especially long Suave, where all predecessor of Lomi, you've been stopped, not only been creating all walk long, planning all Duai, all walk long reforestation. Now, me talk thank you, Lord people of Goroka, Lord giving big plot of ground. Now, me like sorry member of Goroka, that by me go back Lord department, kisi more look sabe or talk sabe blo display. Now we can respond accordingly long question blue. And me good plug question at the same time, me like taking this time lo talk thank you long. National Executive Council, NEC, long look sabe na approve him walk long reforestation for forestation where when we bring him to come long parliament, long people blow blood this country. Long sabe long how important him long all DY blow me pla must grow him. Time me cut him Duai, me mas kiss him thinking also me cut him one plot Duai, me mas thinking or plan him Duai, time me cut him. Now Duai me stop and me preserve him all environment blow me plan, all something where say look at him ground blow me plan, especially area lowara, na on top of mountain, by no got landslide, na just look at all something. So me ask him Assistant Speaker through you to the member of Blogoroka that bami kisi more information about just la work long suave na bami report back long Parliament na at the same time right straight lo you too. Thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker.
Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Assistant Speaker, my question without notice goes to the good Treasurer. But before me making my talk, on behalf of the people of Chuave and the opposition, mila making big bla look sawa stret lo Governor blo New Island, the Honourable Byron Chan. Welcome back to the House. Now, on the same token, big bla look sawa lo the Nupla member of the Day Council, who was an outstanding lawyer in private practice. Na mibla very blessed to see that I'm coming said Laos, the Honourable Desmond Keeper. Assistant Speaker, my question will be very short. We have been grey listed by FATF after 2 years of the Treasurer just sitting on his laurels on a big holiday. He was given the Mutual Evaluation Report in 2024, and he did nothing about it, and now here we are. Now, it's easy to say in the Honourable House that we can dismiss grey listing as something nothing. It doesn't really affect us, and it doesn't affect the bulk of the population because, you know, we're a country of subsistence farmers. We own our own land. That's why we're so lucky and we're so blessed. But because we're import dependent, it has an indelible impact on foreign investment and on inflation. So now my question, Assistant Speaker, is on devaluation of the kina. Now, initially in 2024, when the Treasurer announced the depreciation 21-point crawl peg depreciation strategy, it has remained opaque, and to date, we don't know when the depreciation of the kina will end. Now, 1 kina equals 19 US cents. This is unprecedented. My questions to the Honourable Treasurer, Assistant Speaker, is 1, how will he tighten monetary policy? 2, how will he increase FX reserves? And 3, how will he enforce structural reforms to boost agriculture? These are my 3 questions, and I do not expect a vapid response. I expect the good Treasurer to tell the people of Papua New Guinea, because they're being hit by inflation, there's a cost of living crisis, they can't afford rice and tin fish, and it's hitting every family in the country. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Minister for Treasury.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the opposition leader for his 3 short questions. And firstly, correct him. I haven't been sitting on my laurels with work related to FATF. Again, you just get the facts wrong. You should research your questions before you make those comments. I say that, Mr. Speaker, because the National Coordinating Committee, the FATF National Coordinating Committee, that has oversight over our 23 agencies dealing with grey listing. I was appointed chairman last year in June, well after the first visit from October 2024, where we had the MER, the Mutual Evaluation Report, was completed, and well after 40 reform measures had to be dealt with. So I just wanted to cover that. On his questions provided today, how will we increase our foreign exchange? I think you touched on where we will end up with our plan to deal with foreign exchange. I'm happy to share with this Parliament, Mr. Speaker, and add on to what he thought I had said 2 years ago. Mr. Speaker, to put into context the question on foreign exchange, you will recall when we took over office, there were so many complaints that we had no access to foreign exchange. When we took over office, we had a little over 2.4 billion in outstanding foreign exchange orders. That was the amount. And if we all can recall, it took typically between 12 to 18 months, even more, to get ourselves foreign exchange. So that was the big issue then, and so we, together with our international partners, put forward a plan. And that plan was to try and achieve what we call kina convertibility. That is to ensure that every Papua New Guinean, as I've said in this House, can convert their kina to any currency at any amount at any time. So that involved having to deal with the overvaluation of the kina to the US dollar. Yep, and the theory then, Mr. Speaker, and I use the word theory, because no government since independence had or has presented a clear plan to address this problem. So it was untested territory. We had to make some very difficult decisions. And whilst we do that, Mr. Speaker, we're mindful also on the effects it has on our people, especially cost of living. So the issue then, if we all recall, we were advised that the kina was overvalued compared to the US dollar. Figures ranged between 10 to 16%. Today, I'm advised, and we hope to have that confirmed when the IMF reach PNG at the end of this month for our sixth of our seventh review, the figure might be around 1.6% overvaluation. That's dropped down a lot. And then from there, we'll determine what the next course of action is. But, Mr. Speaker, the plan was, or the theory was, to address the overvaluation, after which investors, both domestic and international, would see that the kina was now good value and foreign direct investment would kick in. That was the theory. And up until we deal with that matter, then we really can't expect significant foreign direct investment to take place. Now, where will we end up with the depreciated strategy that we have? I think most of the reports, if you don't want to take it from government, most of our reports that's shared by our commercial banks have made it very clear. Soonest we can get FID, final investment decision, on our resource projects, at that point, resources or FDI will come in, and that will drive the value of the kina and increase our exchange rate. So that's where we are at this point in time. In relation to his question on the agriculture sector, what plans do we have to increase investments? Firstly, Mr. Speaker, we're pumping around 300 million into the sector this year. We've increased funding to coffee industry by about 60%, with over 90 million kina allocated to the CIC. With record cocoa prices experienced last year, we've also increased funding to the board by about 7%, or 45 million kina in 2025. I'm giving you 2025 numbers. We're providing 10 million kina for coffee excess roads and 60 million for coffee and oil palm development programs. We're also growing the oil palm sector with about 48 million kina, and I understand that's increased this year. So that's some of the initiatives we're doing to increase investments in the agriculture sector. Also, export subsidies, we've allocated last year 20 million kina to the Department of Agriculture and Livestock to support their commodity price support program, and this promotes market access for that particular sector. We've also increased funding to the Fresh Produce Development Corporation last year by about 37%, or 29 million kina, to support market supply chains and infrastructure. Mr. Speaker, all these numbers I've given you do not include the programs of many of our good leaders in this Parliament who have undertaken investments in agriculture using their PSIP and DSIP funds, and as well as administrative support for the various commodity program managers in their districts. Our government is also funding infrastructure developments. This will directly enable farmers to market access, as we're aware. And last year, we allocated 815 million to the Department of Works for various roads and bridges programs. And finally, we're also providing, last year we provided 72.5 million kina into the PNG ports. That slowed down a little bit due to some of the scoping studies, but we're well focused to try and do that. And any other points that I may have missed, I'll ask him to shoot me a quick answer, and I'll give him a more detailed response with further numbers this week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, asking Minogatuk Save, Popla 5 minutes. Honourable members, papers. Honourable members, pursuant to status, I present the annual report of the Public Service Commission, the period 1 January to 31st December 2023. The Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament take note of the paper and the debate be adjourned and made an order of the day for a subsequent sitting.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, pursuant to status, I present the annual report of the Auditor General for the years ending 2021 and 2022. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Parliament take note of the paper and the debate be adjourned and made an order of a day of a subsequent sitting.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister for Lands.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Pursuant to statute, I present the annual reports of the Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority for the years 2023 and 2024. Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to make a statement in connection with the report.
Is leave granted? Leave granted? Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me the opportunity to present to this Honourable House a brief statement on the 2023 and 2024 annual reports of the PNG Immigration and Citizenship Services Authority. The report covers the achievements and updates for 2023 and 2024
in line with the organization's key result areas for that period. Mr. Speaker, by way of background, ICSA was established in 2010 through an Act of Parliament to perform various functions to protect the nation's interest and ensure the authority retains its primary and leadership role in the administration of immigration, citizenship and passport matters, and border and security control through the effective management of people in and out of the country. Mr. Speaker, ICSA was given 4 key result areas to implement. These priority areas include 1. Organizational reform and service delivery improvements. 2. Legislative and policy reforms. 3. Travel facilitation and integrity improvements. 4. Regional cooperation in combating people smuggling, trafficking, and transnational crimes. Mr. Speaker, this report is presented in accordance with the Immigration and Citizenship Service Act 2010, the Public Finance Management Act 1995, and Audit Act 1989. It provides statistical and narrative reporting on the many functions performed by ICSA and details its progress and key achievements in 2023 and 2024. Mr. Speaker, since becoming an independent statutory authority in 2010, ICSA has set about reforming the way in which our country manages and controls the movement of people across the borders whilst promoting bona fide travelers. With the government support, ICSA continues to grow as an agency and is dedicated in improving its services to the people. Mr. Speaker, over the past years, ICSA has continued to use its KRAs to frame and guide its reform agenda. These are set out in detail in the reports. However, it is worthwhile reflecting on a few standout achievements of these 2 years. In terms of migration statistics, Mr. Speaker, ICSA's border management system had reported a steady increase in visa applications throughout 2023 and 2024. This growth is largely driven by key factors, including the reintroduction of the visa auto-grant feature, the revival of the visa on-arrival service, and the reactivation of the short-term multiple entry business visa. Introduction of an artificial intelligence-based analysis engine, amongst other initiatives, probably the first of its kind in government departments. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, ICSA processed and issued 121,422 visas across various categories, representing a 27.38% increase from the 93,315 visas issued in 2022. Similarly, a total of 123,967 visas were issued in 2024, marking a modest 2.10% increase compared to 2023. This is attributed to increased business activities, events hosted in Papua New Guinea, and tourism. Projections suggest that this figure will double in the current year and onwards. The rapid turnaround time, Mr. Speaker, for a visa issuance for a tourist visa is around 2 minutes using artificial intelligence. Mr. Speaker, for work permits, a total of 17,112 different work permit types were issued in 2023, and 12,939 were issued in 2024, which was a 24.38% decrease compared to 2023, as recorded in the foreigners' work permit application systems. This decrease is attributed to factors such as a positive increase in local workforce and expertise and other challenges. Mr. Speaker, regarding passports and other travel documents, in 2023, ICSA issued 46,660 passports, marking a significant increase compared to the figures from the previous 4 years, as recorded in the Travel and Related Business Documents Issuing System, TARDIS. In 2024, ICSA reached a major milestone by installing a passport printing machine and office at its Momase regional office in Lae. This development allows residents of the Momase region, the Highlands, and nearby provinces to access conveniently and apply for travel documents without the unnecessary cost of needing to travel to Port Moresby or rely on express mail services. This is decentralization. Mr. Speaker, ICSA processed and issued 46,128 passports in 2024, a slight decrease compared to 2023. However, with the introduction of the passport printing services in Ley, it is projected that this number will triple in the coming years and beyond. ICSA is also looking at extending similar services to other parts of the country in compliance with International Civil Aviation Organization standards. We are looking at Mount Hagen and Kokopo. Mr. Speaker, in terms of revenue collection, between 2023 and 2024, ICSA demonstrated consistent revenue generating capabilities as background. Under the ICSA funding arrangements, the migration service fees revenue raised is equally shared with the state and ICSA on a 50-50% basis. The 50% of the MSF is transferred to the Consolidated Revenue Fund, Waigani Public Accounts, and the other 50% is transferred to ICSA's operational bank account by the Department of Finance, as provided for by the Immigration and Citizenship Service Act 2010. Mr. Speaker, in 2023, the total MSF revenue collected as of 31st December 2023 amounted to $163.5 million. Under the Non-Tax Revenue Administration Act 2024, DOF remitted 40% to ICSA, and the balance was retained by DOF. Later, DOF also released additional funding to ICSA to supplement key operational expenses. Hence, ICSA received $123.1 million. In 2024, the total MSF revenue collected as of 31st December 2024 was $186.5 million. Under the NTRA Act and a 30-70 revenue sharing ratio, dropping from 50-50, ICSA received its 30% share of $55.8 million, and 70% was retained by Department of Finance for consolidated revenue. The main source of revenue collection are derived from the MSF, including visa, passports, work permits, citizenship, permanent residence, APEC business travel cards, penalties, fines, personal emoluments, salaries, allowance funds through DOF, and bank interests. Mr. Speaker, ICSA is embarking on new innovative technologies and extension of services to improve its operations and generate revenue for the government. These operations require funding to be sufficiently available in ICSA's operational account, and the current funding arrangement 50-50 between DOF and ICSA adequately supports our operations in the country and overseas missions and posts. Mr. Speaker, ICSA's continued efforts in its compliance and enforcement operations have seen a total of 115 non-citizens removed from the country from 2023 and 2024, linked to various factors, including violations to migration and national laws, resettlement pathways, and other migration processes. 13 of them were removed in 2024, and the bulk, 102, were removed in 2023, respectively. Some of these removals were due to serious criminal offenses, such as drug trafficking, which we have deported them. For the benefit of the House, since late October 2022, since I took office as Minister responsible for Immigration and Border Security to May this year, I have taken a hardline stance. 105 foreign nationals have been removed from PNG by deportation or administrative process in 2023-2024, and the figures for 2025 will be made available. 2025 was a total of 300 were deported for various infringements and notices. So yes, we are working. The recent and ongoing immigration compliance operations has and will see a sharp and significant increase in numbers, which will be reflected in the 2025 annual report, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in response to increasing caseloads and growing demands on seamless immigration processing and service delivery, ICSA has successfully introduced and completed an artificial AI-based analysis engine which underwent through testing and quality assurance processes in late December 2024, seeing the state for deployment in early 2025. The AI-based platform is designed to automate document verification, streamline application processing, and objectively assess the suitability of visa applications and submissions. The initiative aims to significantly enhance efficiency, turnaround downtime, strengthen compliance, and reduce visa processing times across all application categories. As I pointed out earlier, it takes 2 minutes to turn it around for a visa application if you fill it in properly. This is probably the first department, as I pointed out earlier, that is continuing to use artificial intelligence to improve on our efficiency and will continue to improve and set the pace forward. The implementation of this advanced system is expected to contribute substantially to increase border security for Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, ICSA successfully introduced its housing policy, which received board approval in late 2023 and was officially launched in 2024. The implementation of this policy represents a major milestone for the organization in the coming years, particularly for staff that will benefit from affordable housing solutions designed to meet their needs, and once the policy is fully operational. It assists staff to be able to live in proper accommodation and perform their duties effectively and efficiently. Mr. Speaker, in its efforts to enhance strategic partnerships through MOUs, ICSA has entered into an information sharing MOU with the PNG Tourism Promotion Authority. ICSA has developed and launched its Strategic Corporate Plan 24 to 28 that will provide a guide for ICSA's long-term priorities and in carrying out its mandated responsibilities and implementing government directives. Moreover, ICSA has successfully established the Citizenship Advisory Committee, which is now fully operational after long delays. It is now working effectively and has been able to review and expedite the backing of pending citizenship applications. I give credit to the chairman, Honorable Marsh Narwek, and his deputy, the member for Sumkar. Again, during my tenure as a minister responsible for immigration and border security portfolio, we have granted more than 200 citizenship applications. These are for PNG citizens seeking dual citizenship with a prescribed country, naturalization, and other dual citizenship pathways such as resumption, marriage, and sportsperson. Also, since taking office as minister, we have granted citizenship to close to 150 West Papuans, bringing to a total of nearly 500 West Papuans we have given citizenship to in various provinces of Papua New Guinea. They have waited for more than 40 years. Many who have lived in the country for more than 50 years. This process is consistent with the West Papua Registration and Naturalization Project that was implemented pursuant to National Executive Council Decision 326/2014. The PNG government through ICSA is committed to continuing the registration and citizenship process for all West Papuans who have resided in PNG since 1984 when they moved here due to refugee crisis. Mr. Speaker, on the legislative and policy reforms, ICSA has successfully developed a first ever homegrown national migration policy and is pending Cabinet's endorsement to be presented in Parliament for implementation. ICSA has also developed and implemented its internal gender equity and social inclusion policy. In addition, tremendous work has been done in reviewing migration legislative frameworks to modernize migration governance and enhance border management. The reviews of the Migration Act 1975, Passport Act 1982, and Citizenship Act 1975 have reached advanced stages. We are committed to ensuring our laws remain responsible and responsive to evolving circumstances. The work on the Passport Act 1982, for example, is to repeal and replace that legislation to introduce a modern legal framework on Papua New Guinean passports and travel documents. That has been passed in Parliament. We are also making amendments to the Citizenship Act to ensure that the processes of obtaining, for example, resumption of citizenship is less cumbersome for applicants of Papua New Guinean origin. Mr. Speaker, in the realm of travel facilitation and integrity improvements, ICSA's efforts in the last 2 years have resulted in a substantial increase in the issuance of passports, reflecting a threefold surge from the previous years. Moreover, the introduction of new visa types and the reactivation of short-term multiple entry visas underscore our commitment to facilitating travel and promoting seamless interactions. Mr. Speaker, in the past 2 years, ICSA witnessed the signing of 2 significant bilateral visa waiver agreements, one between Papua New Guinea and the Republic of India, and another between Papua New Guinea and the Republic of Korea. These agreements are currently pending ratification by the Parliament before they can be implemented. The objective of these agreements is to enhance travel processes through digital innovation and bilateral arrangements, facilitating the smooth movement of visitors and investors into and out of Papua New Guinea. We are focused on making it easier for people to travel to Papua New Guinea through our use of the AI technology in the visa application process, the bilateral arrangements visa waiver agreements, such as those I referred to above, and the visa on arrival arrangements with countries that reciprocate with ours, including, as you can see, the online QR code for passenger cards when you re-enter the country, which is all online at the moment. Mr. Speaker, ICSA's dedication to regional cooperation in combating people smuggling, trafficking in persons, and related transnational crimes has been exemplified through our active participation in various bilateral and multilateral gatherings, hosting the Pacific Immigration Development Community annual meeting and facilitating successful entry and departure movements at the 3rd Forum for India-Pacific Islands Leaders Summit is indicative of a commitment to regional collaboration and capacity building. Mr. Speaker, ICSA has taken a further step by signing a joint technical cooperation MOU with the Solomon Islands Immigration Division to strengthen an MOU between PNG and Solomon Islands that was signed during the India-Pacific Islands Cooperation in 2023. Again, for perspective to date, that MOU has resulted in ICSA's support to the SID during the Pacific Games, which ICSA embedded Papua New Guinea Migration Office to assist our neighboring country to support them in the Pacific Games with technical support and IT technologies, and providing training to help identify and procure a reliable and effective border management system for the Solomon Islands. A safer Solomon Islands means a safer PNG, as we share a common maritime border, and I am all one talk, believe me too. We are doing the same with other Pacific Island countries to share with them the technology and assist them in border management. Mr. Speaker, ICSA is part of the recently established PNG Anti-Money Laundering Task Force, alongside key sister agencies, launched in December 2024 in fighting against anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism funding and other transnational crimes, including human trafficking and people smuggling. Work is well underway to establish an AML CTF unit within the organizational structure. Mr. Speaker, I thank the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Citizenship, the Citizenship Advisory Committee, the Immigration and Citizenship Advisory Board members, the Chief Migration Officer, and the management and staff of ICSA for its 2024 and 23 achievements. I am only as good as the staff around me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I now commend these reports to the Honourable House.
Mr. Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to move that Parliament take note of this statement, and I want to stand up to offer my commendations in support of the DPM in his capacity as Minister responsible for the migrations and citizenship services of our authority of our country. Mr. Speaker, First time through me good plan looking more some immigration services and me bring a report and come to speed so that Parliament can look sour and work only working. Commendation law leadership long Deputy Prime Minister. Me lead him department well. Make him more long or reform people like working. Current report come to Parliament. An example to rest of us, including my own department, PM and NEC. That is prudent on us to report to Parliament, our people's house, that when I'm working for the previous years must come to Parliament. Long the entire country looks away. Now, me like commend him, Deputy Prime Minister, not only for the report table, but in this report it includes some indication of the work being done in progressing. And something I want to commend him, I'll keep my conversation short, that this department, immigration, has now moved into utilizing ICT. We're not clear whether people are looking, but once in a while there's a hiccup, but today our visa, access to a country through visa is online and amongst the fastest in the world.
Honorable Member, Prime Minister, sorry for interrupting you. I think Speaker, I must reach him through chair, so in a few straight him on him really now they can talk to.
Mr. Speaker. All right, thank you. All right, my apologies. So I want to offer my commendations to DPM for his work. Big improvement in the visa processing system now we have. The immigration services has now moved into ICT space and a quick response to visa applications by our visitors online. And the department is now using ICT and AI to assist in the administration of these important services that sits at the gate. But at the same time, I want to say that much room remains for improvement, and we are on a step up and work to making sure that we do not have strangers unknown coming in, but we must be vigilant to those who come in, fit and proper to be amongst us, and also equally cleared from the port of departure as they arrive into us. But also on this report, it is very clearly evident that we have a lot of visitors coming in. I want to also comment. The last few years, there's a decline in, there's a trend in decline of foreigners who are applying for permit to work in our country. It shows that, and the Deputy Prime Minister has been vigilant in enforcing that we must be replacing foreigners and jobs to be taken up by Papua New Guineans. If you see increase or a decline rather from 2023 to 24, we look forward to the 2025 report that see the trend. And this government is starting to police the localization of all jobs we have in our country. All employers have been put on notice that you employ a foreigner only when the capacity and the skill is not in our country. And so we also stepping up and policing on the localization plan. And Mr. Minister, in his task as an immigration minister, is assisting Labour Department in this space very, very closely. And I want to commend him. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Prime Minister. You only Mr. work with immigration or some part-time to solve, but you really step up the game. Me like lastly, Pasim Hamas along all West Papua. All brothers who have me come stand to Mipla and the rest who are still out here. Suppose you is stuck yet, Mipla set him system to process him so that you can come up citizen. Want to work long Deputy Prime Minister or some Lands Minister, you be like look give him permanent ground long all. All land is being worked upon so that all West Papua staff of Mipla and place long all Muscat ground good, Sinan good stuff. And I was in a refugee camp in 1978 in a place called Oxapmin with the refugees. I clearly know them and the predicament they were in the 70s and 60s. A lot of refugees came into our country from the other side, the other half of our island. One piscine, one blood, one line blimi. Me like apologize if long time to mass you unattended. This government is attending to many of the outstanding issues, key amongst them We want to give permanent settlement to West Papuans amongst us. All brothers, Susa, all Pigini, Blomi, and country Blibla, but give full citizenship Blibla, as well as ground Blibla, sit on one time, country Blibla. Thank you too much. God bless.
The question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I present the report of the Permanent Parliamentary Committee. Chairman of the Public Committee Account.
Honorable members, I present the report of the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts relating to the Connect PNG Inquiry Report 2026. Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to make a statement in connection with the report.
Is that leave granted? Leave granted.
Mr. Speaker and honorable members of Parliament, I rise to present to this honorable House the report of the Public Accounts Committee following the completion of its inquiry into the Connect PNG program, one of the most ambitious infrastructure initiatives in the history of Papua New Guinea. The Connect PNG program, with its vision of delivering 16,000 kilometers of roads and 3,000 meters of bridges by 2040, represent a substantial investment of public resource and a critical test of our governance, accountability, and long-term national development. It is a program that carries the promise of strengthening national unity, expanding economic opportunity, and improving access of rural, remote, and maritime communities across our country. The committee undertook this inquiry with a clear and solemn responsibility to ensure that every kina spent under this program delivers tangible and lasting benefits to the people of Papua New Guinea and is managed in strict accordance with the law. In completing this inquiry, the committee examined the planning, financing, and implementation of the Connect PNG program through 4 key principles: transparency, ensuring clarity in how program targets were established, how projects were prioritized, and how funds were allocated and utilized. Accountability, scrutinizing approximately 4.5 billion in expenditure to confirm that spending aligns with approved milestones and that governance weaknesses were properly identified. Impact, assessing whether the program is delivering measurable improvements in economic growth, employment opportunities, and accessibility for communities. Sustainability, evaluating whether the infrastructure being developed can be effectively maintained and whether the program remains on a realistic path towards achieving its 2040 objectives. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, this inquiry was conducted firmly within the legal framework enacted by this Parliament. The committee carefully assessed compliance with the Connect PNG Implementation and Funding Arrangement Act of 2021 and the Road Management and Fund Act of 2020, legislation designed to ensure sound governance financial discipline, and effective oversight of the road sector. Let me emphasize that this inquiry is not political in nature. It was undertaken solely in the public interest to safeguard public resource, strengthen institutional accountability, and uphold the trust placed in this Parliament by the people of Papua New Guinea. This inquiry was conducted in the spirit of constructive parliamentary oversight, transparency, and national development. It reflects Parliament's responsibility to ensure that public resources are used effectively, efficiently, and in the best interest of our people. Development rationale for the Connect PNG program. The Connect PNG program is one of the most ambitious and national infrastructure initiatives undertaken since independence. Papua New Guinea's development challenges have long been shaped by difficult terrain and dispersed populations, limited transport connectivity, high cost of doing business and delivering essential services. For many of our citizens, isolation has resulted in high food and transport costs, limited access to health, education, and markets, reduced economic opportunity. Connect PNG was designed to address these realities by connecting provinces, districts, and communities through a national road network, completing missing links that isolate people and suppress economic activity, reducing travel time and transport costs, unlocking agriculture, commerce, investment, and employment. In essence, roads are not merely infrastructures. They are economic enablers, social connectors, and foundation for national unity. The purpose and scope of the inquiry. The purpose of this inquiry was to better understand how the Connect PNG program is being implemented and to identify areas where systems, processes, and coordination can be strengthened. The inquiry focused on implementation bottlenecks and delays, procurement processes and contract management, wastage, inefficiencies, and leakage, systematic and administrative weaknesses, coordination between implementing agencies, and monitoring and evaluation system. The committee's objective is to ensure that public funds deliver real, durable infrastructure, projects achieve their intended economic and social objectives, the program provides value for money to the nation. The committee recognized the complexity of delivering infrastructure in Papua New Guinea and acknowledged the efforts of public servants, engineers, and contractors working under challenging conditions. Finding and recommendations. The report contains identified weaknesses and shortcomings, analysis of root causes, clear and practical recommendations. Among the significant findings, the committee noted that failures in the establishment and oversight of the trust account. There were substantial deficiencies in the establishment and administrations of the trust fund account, including weaknesses in governance and administrative process, and a failure by the Connect PNG board to exercise adequate oversight over the funding process. Number two, the non-compliance with FIDIC standards by contractors and engineers. The committee observed failures by contractors and engineers to comply with FIDIC contractual standards and requirements, which are essential for project management, contract administration, and accountability in infrastructure delivery. The recommendations aim to, 1, improve project design and appraisal, 2, strengthen procurement and contract oversight, 3, reduce wastage and leakage, 4, enhance interagency coordination, and 5, strengthening monitoring and evaluation. The overarching goal is to systematically improve the performance of the Connect PNG program so that it delivers its full national development promises. Number 4, closing assurance. The inquiry is about learning, improvement, and accountability. It is about ensuring that every kina spent under the Connect PNG program delivers real roads, improves access and opportunity, enhances economic social outcomes. The committee required full cooperation from the Department of Works and Highways and all relevant stakeholders. The findings presented in this report reflect a comprehensive examination of the information and evidence provided, as well as the committee's own site inspections and assessments. While acknowledging the undeniable challenges faced in implementing this program, it is equally important to recognize the substantial benefit it has delivered to the people of Papua New Guinea. After inspecting 14 major projects across the country, the committee observed that the program's strategic focus on developing a national road network has significantly improved connectivity between provinces, enhancing access to essential service, markets, and social infrastructure. The notable projects that we visited, including the Yellow Bridge in Southern Islands, the Magi Highway in Central Province, the Lei Najab Road in Morobe Province, and others, have transformed local communities by providing safe and reliable passage over previously impassable terrain, reducing travel times, facilitating trade, and improving access to schools, health centers, and economic opportunities. These outcomes demonstrate the program's critical role in fostering national productivity, social cohesion, and inclusive economic development. By strategically investing in key infrastructure, the Connect PNG program has opened previously isolated areas to economic participation and encouraged private sector investment and strengthened regional integration. Road projects such as Tabubil to Telefomin, Alatau to Central Province, and the Biala Noa Road in Western Britain, one of the strongest performing projects observed by the committee, exemplifying how infrastructure development enhances mobility, stimulates local economies, and contributes to the long-term advancement of Papua New Guinea. The report I tabled today identifies key challenges, highlights area of efficiency and non-compliance, sets out clear and practical recommendations to strengthen governance, improve financial management, and ensure that the Connect PNG program achieves its intended objective. Mr. Speaker and honorable members, the success of the Connect PNG program will have a lasting impact on the future of our nation. Its potential to transform connectivity and development is significant. However, that potential can only be realized through strict adherence to the rule of law, responsible financial stewardship, and effective institutional oversight. The committee's recommendations are intended to reinforce these foundations and guide the program toward accountable and sustainable implementation. I urge all responsible agencies to work promptly and decisively in implementing the findings and recommendations in the best interest of our country and our people. With those remarks, I respectfully commend and present this report to the Parliament. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I move that the report and its recommendation be adopted.
Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adjourn debate.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. papers, special parliamentary committees on customary land and reform in Papua New Guinea, report on the inquiry into the customary land and the Chairman.
Honourable members, I present the report of the Special Parliamentary Committee on Customary Land and Land Reforms in Papua New Guinea relating to its inquiry into customary land and land reforms. Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of the Parliament to make a statement in connection with the report.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Chairman.
Before I do, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to pause and take a moment to recognize my constituents from Hiri Koiari and Central Province, amongst whom my parents are also present in the gallery today to witness this auspicious occasion of the presentation of the report of the Special Parliamentary Committee on Customary Land and Land Reform. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to present to this Honourable House the report of the Special Parliamentary Committee on Customary Land and Land Reform, together with a proposed Customary Land Tenure Bill that emerges from the committee's findings. This report addresses one of the most fundamental issues confronting our nation: how Papua New Guinea protects and governs its customary land while enabling fair and sustainable development for our people. Land in Papua New Guinea is not simply property. It is identity, ancestry, spiritual connection, food security, and social stability. It is protected under our Constitution through the recognition of custom as law. Nearly 97% of our land remains under customary tenure, making our country one of the strongest customary landholding societies in the world. Across Papua New Guinea, customary land systems are deeply rooted in identity of our peoples and are governed by diverse traditions. Some communities maintain matrilineal systems of inheritance where land rights pass through the motherland. Others follow patrilineal systems where land stewardship is held through the father's lineage. Both systems are legitimate expressions of customary law and cultural identity, and both must be respected and preserved. Mr. Speaker, the challenge before us is therefore not only about land administration. It is about protecting the cultural foundations of our society while ensuring that the rights and dignity of all members of the community are respected. Mr. Speaker, yet the inquiry conducted by this committee has confirmed that serious systematic challenges exist in the way customary land interacts with modern administrative, legal, and economic systems. Across the country, we heard about historical alienation without consent. We heard about abuses associated with special agriculture and business leases. We heard about manipulated incorporated land groups, double registrations, and fraudulent land transactions. We heard about disputes that have dragged on for years, dividing clans and delaying development. Mr. Speaker, we heard about missing records, weak oversights, and fragmented institutional mandates. We heard from investors concerned about uncertainty, from provincial leaders frustrated by administrative confusion, and from public servants who acknowledge capacity constraints. Most importantly, Mr. Speaker, we heard directly from people of Papua New Guinea and landowners. From coastal communities to highland settlements,
From the peri-urban corridors to island provinces, one message was repeated everywhere the committee traveled. They said, our land is our life. The central challenge before us, therefore, is clear. Mr. Speaker, the strength of our customary land system lies in its cultural legitimacy. Its weaknesses lies in the institutional systems that surround it. If we fail to address these weaknesses, Mr. Speaker, land disputes will continue to escalate, development will remain stalled, and public trust in land governance will continue to erode. If we address them wisely, Mr. Speaker, however, customary land can remain firmly in the hands of its traditional owners, while also supporting fair and inclusive economic development. At the same time, reforms must respect the integrity of customary governance structures, including the lineage systems that define land rights and social identity. The committee recognizes that protecting customary land also means protecting the matrilineal and patrilineal identities that underpin many of our clan systems. Reform must therefore strengthen these systems rather than replace them with structures that undermine customary authority. Equally important, Mr. Speaker, is the need to ensure customary land governance reflects the principles of fairness, dignity, and inclusion that are embedded in our Constitution. While customary systems must be respected, the voices of women and our young people who cultivate the land, sustain families, and inherit the responsibility of stewardship must not be excluded. Mr. Speaker, in many communities, women play central roles in food production, environmental stewardship, and family livelihoods. In some provinces, women are custodians of land through matrilineal traditions. Yet too often, their voices are absent from formal land decision-making processes. Mr. Speaker, reform must therefore protect customary systems while also safeguarding gender equality and meaningful participation for women and youth in land governance. For this reason, the committee has not only conducted an inquiry, it has also prepared a legislative proposal, the Draft Customary Land Tenure Bill, to operationalize the reform framework outlined in this report. The bill, Mr. Speaker, aims to strengthen, amongst other things, the recognition of customary authority and landowner primacy, requirements for free, prior, and informed consent, transparent clan identification and registration processes, accountable land administration and benefit sharing arrangements, meaningful representation of women and youth, the protection of customary inheritance systems, including matrilineal and patrilineal traditions, and more coherent and accessible land dispute resolutions, and quite uniquely, I add, Mr. Speaker, to promote commercial and capital development by clans and ordinary citizens of this country. Mr. Speaker, the findings presented today are not theoretical. They are the outcome of the most extensive parliamentary inquiries into land governance undertaken in Papua New Guinea in recent years. The inquiry was conducted throughout 2025 and into early 2026 through a broad participatory and evidence-based process. The committee traveled across regions of the country, around the southern region, the islands region, Momase, and the highlands. Public hearings were held in Port Moresby, Kokopo, Lae, and Mount Hagen. Additional consultations were conducted through written submissions, institutional meetings, case studies, and site visits. More than 1,000 participants appeared before the committee. They included clan elders, customary chiefs, women leaders, youth representatives, land group executives,
provincial administrators, church organizations, landowner associations, academics, legal experts, civil society organizations, private sector, bankers, and officials from relevant government departments. Mr. Speaker, we received detailed submissions from organized landowner associations and individual clans. We examined cases involving colonial-era alienation, peri-urban land pressure, Highlands corridor developments, and long-standing institutional disputes. The committee also undertook a comprehensive review of existing legislation and court decisions, assessed the implementation gaps of 2005 and the 2019 National Land Summits, and we closely studied comparative experiences from other Pacific jurisdictions with strong customary land systems. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, in January 2026, the committee convened a high-level national forum on customary land and human rights in Port Moresby, which, if I may add, was officiated by the good Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Lands, Honourable John Rosso. The committee expresses great gratitude for a bipartisan approach and support. This forum brought together members of Parliament, national and provincial government agencies, customary leaders, women and youth groups, academics, development partners, and representatives of the United Nations system. Proceedings were live-streamed to ensure national visibility and transparency. The forum provided an opportunity to examine the committee's findings within the framework of our Constitution and international human rights standards. It reinforced several key principles: that customary land is not merely an economic asset, but the sacred foundation of identity and community life; that reform must be grounded in bottom-up consultations, and that free, prior, and informed consent must be central to any land governance framework. The forum also strengthened national consensus around the need for clearer institutional architecture, stronger transparency mechanisms, and effective safeguards against elite capture and corruption. Mr. Speaker, this inquiry has therefore been wide in geography, broad in participation, and rigorous in analysis. It has been shaped not only by experts and officials, but by the lived experiences of ordinary Papua New Guineans across our country. We also heard important perspectives about inclusion. Women who cultivate the land spoke of their exclusion from decision-making processes. Young people spoke of losing connection to their clan land histories. Young people spoke of losing this connection, and these voices remind us that reform must not only protect land, it must also strengthen fair participation within customary systems. Mr. Speaker, the report before this House sets out a reform framework built on a number of core principles. The first is customary sovereignty and landowner primacy. Custom must remain the foundation of land governance. Number two, free, prior, and informed consent. It is understood that development must proceed only with documented and genuine consent of landowners. Number three, that transparency and accountability must be embraced. That verified clan identification, credible registration processes, and enforceable benefit-sharing mechanisms should be the hallmark of this reform. Number four, the inclusion and intergenerational equity, that women and youth must have meaningful representation. And finally, the access to justice. The land dispute resolution must be more coherent, timely, and culturally aligned. Mr. Speaker, attached to the report is the draft Customary Land Tenure Bill, presented as part of the committee's recommendations. At this stage, it serves as a legislative proposal
to translate the principles identified by the inquiry into a legal framework, a workable legal framework. This bill is envisioned to establish a separate Customary Land Authority with a board to govern the authority. The board would be constituting of a number of key government agencies and independent representatives representing women, youth, Papua New Guinea Law Society, the Papua New Guinea Chamber of Papua New Guinea Certified Practicing Accountants. This bill envisages, Mr. Speaker, to establish two registers. One is the Registry of Clans in the nation, and the second would be a register of property belonging to these clans. It envisages the formalization of perpetual land title or land interest in favor of the clans by virtue of declaration through enactment of this bill, and also the creation of subleases from the authority and the clan to third parties and land users, limited to a tenure of 50 years each. It also accommodates the creation of development agreements or subordinate agreements for development on these subject lands. These are some key features of this bill, and it also intends and allows clans to acquire the legal personality of a nominal legal entity. However, be protected for perpetually, and any enforcement of judgments are limited only to administration or receivership managers, protecting the clans not to ever be made insolvent or liquidated. So the clans will remain perpetually forever in sake of time, relative to their properties. Mr. Speaker, the purpose of today's presentation is therefore to place before this House both the findings of the inquiry and the policy direction required for reform. This Parliament now has the responsibility to consider these findings carefully and deliberate on the path forward. On behalf of the committee, Mr. Speaker, I wish to thank the elders, women's leaders, youth representatives, provincial administrators, landowner associations, churches, civil society organizations, academics, bankers and leaders of financial institutions, government agencies and development partners who contributed to this process, including those who participated in the January 2026 National Forum. Mr. Speaker, this report is not the conclusion of reform. It is the foundation of a national effort to restore trust in land governance, correct systematic weaknesses, protect our customary identities, and secure customary ownership for present and future generations of this nation. Our land is our life. If there ever were a greater call for all men and women to stand together and members of Parliament to take on this challenge, today is the hour and today is the time. It is the duty of this Parliament to protect our life and our land. I commend this report to the House.
The Honourable Member for Abao.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. I move that Parliament take note of the Chairman's statement, and I wish to provide a debate. And I also move that the Parliament accept the report and its set of recommendations to be adopted.
Make a speech.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Firstly, let me highly congratulate the chairman of this Special Parliamentary Committee on Customary Land and Land Reform in Papua New Guinea, Honorable Keith Iduhu, in his first tenureship as a parliamentarian, he's brought to this honorable house the issue that hasn't been properly handled over the years since we became a state 50 years ago. When we began as a state, Honorable Assistant Speaker, we acquired many of the outdated legislations from the Westminster system, other parts of the world, and failed to realize that these were not serving our country as well as their intentions. As a former Minister for Lands, I want to commend the Prime Minister and his leadership in recommending to this Honorable House the establishment of this Special Parliamentary Committee in recognition of this issue of land which the country must now have a conversation on. And highly commend the committee because for the first time, there is a parliamentary committee not only presenting a report, but also proposing a bill in relation to the report. Because we are legislators, we are policy makers, and it shows a leadership which is very clear on what they are doing, that the issues are very, very clear as presented in the report, but they also provided a new legislative framework that must address this vast asset that Papua New Guineans own. And being a highly diverse country, the manner in which many tribes manage and own and discuss their land as communities is something that I, as a former lands minister while sitting in my office as Minister for Lands, was not able to fully understand. Correct. Whilst in office as Minister for Lands, I called the then Secretary, the late Pepe Kimas. I said, Secretary, I have observed the structure of the Department of Lands, but there is no office or no system in the department that addresses the bulk of the land called customary land. I was advised that the state only owns 3 to 4%, and so the Department of Lands was managing all those things. But the bulk of the land, the state agency called the Department of Lands and Fiscal Planning really never had a system in that department for many years. Correct. Until I went in. So two of us had an argument. I said, immediately establish a division on customary land and appoint a deputy secretary, the highest level below you, to be the deputy secretary for customary land. And that's when this focus and the radar on customary land in the Department of Lands began to come in. Then I hosted the 2005 Lay Summit, and then the recommendations, and established what we call the National Land Development Program. Phase 1 finished, but this is part of the Phase 2, and as I have been arguing on the floor of Parliament, Phase 2 of the National Land Development Program is to deal with bringing the bill to the floor of Parliament on customary land. Assistant Speaker, Dream Man Blomi come up tete. The chairman and his committee has now, through a highly consultative process, as he has explained in his statement, has now crystallized very clearly, for the first time in this country, someone has now crystallized very clearly how the nation must now handle customary land going forward for the next 50 or so years. And so I take my hat off today. People of Abau, we take our hat off to the chairman, to you, your committee, and also thanking the Prime Minister for getting this committee organized. Assistant Speaker, this committee belongs to this honorable house. I've been fighting for proper resources to establish and make committees work. Suppose all get a committee, you name them. Special Parliamentary Committee on Gender-Based Violence, you may debate in March day, elections too, and then this one, yeah. These are very, very important, and the committees, when they work, this Parliament will have a role that it should play according to the expectations. I am particularly moved by the proposed bill because this is not time for presenting the bill. The chairman has not gone through the bill. But I strongly recommend that the chairman, through the Minister for Lands, the Attorney General, all of us work together so in the next sitting of Parliament, this Parliament passes the bill. Because if you look at it, this is recognizing customary land in this country, recognizing our customs and traditions and cultures under which communal ownership of land has been administered and managed throughout the country, whether it's through the matrilineal or patrilineal systems in different parts of the country. And I'm very, very happy that the drafters of our national constitution made it very, very clear that the customary laws that govern land are constitutionally recognized. They are recognized as law. And so what is needed right now, because it has been over the years been a gray area, what is needed right now is to now get Parliament in the next sitting as soon as possible to pass this bill to give recognition of customary land so that a separate authority as proposed by this bill can be established so that this vast asset that our people have can be properly administered, and the radar of this Parliament and the radar of the executive government can be on this asset. One of the outcomes that I understand the chairman and his committee want to achieve is that this asset, which is outside of the formal system, under this bill, will then be brought into the formal system to participate in the capital market.
Correct.
That, to me, is the most exciting part of this committee's recommendation. Imagine the process that we will engage in. All the provincial governments, all the district authorities, go and implement this legislation. Properly recognize clans, no more ILG system. Because in the ILG system, plenty chairman will fight about. But clans have already always been there. We all are part of the clans. We identify the clans. We know the boundaries of our land. Imagine this process going throughout the entire country. And then all this 97% is now recognized by the banks, by the investors, through formalization of this important asset. Imagine the benefits to the rural population, that they have an asset that is valuable, that institutions like banks have recognized it, that you can go with that asset anywhere and negotiate. If gas and oil is found, the system is already organized. We already identify the landowners already through this process. You don't have to go and do another identification of landowners when oil and gas is found in my village, for example, Kapari or Wanigela. So the nation, through this bill, by focusing on customary land, we will be able to identify, and we are ready into the future. I don't know whether you are reading it, but the excitement thing is, because this asset is now brought into the formal capital market, one citizen in the clan, you will become a millionaire, I'm telling you. I don't know whether you identify it or not. I'm not legally talk. You think that you own land and under the laws, we have dislocated you. Under this law, we are going to bring you in. You will participate in the formal market. That's what's needed in this country. Once we mobilize the land, then businesses and the benefits will go. Everybody will benefit. When we acquired the alienation programs, when our forefathers brought the laws, like the Land Act, alienation processes, only one individual were benefiting, applying for state leases. Only one businesses were benefiting. One investors, corporate entities were benefiting. But under the non-alienation, formalization of the customary land, everybody will benefit. Assistant Speaker, I hope you see this too. I hope our people who are listening see and recognize the excitement that this committee is now bringing to this important, valuable asset that some of us have ignored. That is why in the chairman's statement, land is life here. When I became minister for lands, I was told, and that has stuck in my heart, we own land and land owns us. How true it is, Mr. Assistant Speaker. We own land and land owns us. Therefore, you make that number. No other country in the world has got the vast majority of its citizens owning this asset, except Papua New Guinea, Mr. Assistant Speaker. So this law, this bill, and this recommendation recognize that direction now. And it's an exciting direction, my colleague members of Parliament. Prime Minister, this is an exciting direction. I hope the Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, you pick it up, run with it as the Minister responsible. This is the way to go. I mean, structuring the bill, support the bill quickly, come and maybe next week, this bill should be passed. I understand that the chairman wants to go and do a road run around the country again. I said, no, Mr. Chairman, I think this is a good bill. Don't go and drop it on the roadside when you are going consulting all over the country, including going to Simbu or Abau. It might drop over there. Just bring it next week because nothing is perfect. Huh? No law is perfect. Bring it, we pass it, and we can always amend it. Congratulations, Chairman. Well done.
Thank you.
People are about, thank you, and we look forward to bringing this new system that is an excitement, and the future is looking bright with this asset now being discussed. Thank you, Assistant Speaker.
Well done. The Honourable Deputy Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. First of all, thank you for allowing me to participate in this debate. I'd like to first of all congratulate the committee and the chairman for this presentation, the tabling of this report. It is, I agree, it is a very critical report. And it's been a long time in the outstanding, as Sir Puka quite rightfully pointed out. It's been 50 years since independence, and this government saw it and did it in its term. It's also, in this term, it shows that in encompassing government, we didn't put a government minister as a chairman so that we had proper oversight and participation in this. And that is why we put the Honorable Keith Iduhu on it, because his knowledge as a lawyer and his vocal ideas on it, it needs a two-way thing to be able to show transparency. And that is why in government's wisdom, the Prime Minister's wisdom, that we put in a select parliamentary committee on this and ensuring we get the best input possible from both sides of the House. So it shows that as government, we look at encompassing ideas. We don't say, me play it, but sinaun chairman, and me play it, but guiding process. One kind law, Connect PNG program. We also set that up so that we have views from both sides of the House so that we can be also criticized and held accountable for these things. It is important that we set up these things so that whilst we have the chairman, that we had very good eyes, especially like the Honorable Keith Idu again, that sat on that, and other esteemed members of the opposition to criticize, to dissect, to look at, and offer, most of all, offer options, credible working options. And this is what I like about the Honorable Keith Idu and his committee. Also provides solutions, options, and he also kept very good interaction with myself as the Office of the Lands Minister, and participated in a lot of ideas, and I'm quite thank you for that. This is what government is all about, Mr. Assistant Speaker. We need to put our heads together to solve issues instead of fighting. Issues that are very important for our nations, issues that are very sensitive, like the land program. The land program, the land in Papua New Guinea, land is very sensitive, Mr. Assistant Speaker. It is a very sensitive issue for all of us, and we needed to find solutions to that. And some of those solutions are now embedded in this report. Some of those solutions are embedded in this report. As quite rightfully pointed out, 97% of land in Papua New Guinea is customary land. How do we make it tenable? How do we make it bankable? How do we make it where our people can benefit from it? All of us want the same thing, but we need to make it so it becomes bankable, that the banks can be able to hold it as mortgage, allow businesses to run, and that sort of thing. And Honorable Sir Puka quite rightfully pointed out that whilst we have an administration for alienated land in Papua New Guinea, we don't really have something for customary land in Papua New Guinea. There are three types of land in Papua New Guinea. Alienated land would constitute about 3 to 4% of land in Papua New Guinea. Then we have freehold land that we inherited from the past, that is freehold land. And then we also have customary land, roughly about 97, 96% of customary land, which is the biggest slice of land in Papua New Guinea, held by our people, but unbankable. So this committee has set up proposals, ideas that we will work together to try to ensure that we be able to make those become accessible and bankable for ordinary Papua New Guineans. We agree that we need to, as discussed with the Honourable Chairman, we agree that we need to survey and have a bankable and also records for customary land in Papua New Guinea. We need to be able to assist our landowners, survey and identify their land. Too many times, I know that each one of you, including myself, we all have customary disputes back home. Get on them, stop, even though I'm the landsman, I still have disputes back home in my own village that people cross the boundary, place lo kaka garden sanapla wena, disla, or something. So this route that the government has taken, an inclusive route with the opposition, to ensure that we find solutions for this pathway. But I should also caution a little bit of restraint. Like the 1994-95 reforms that we did, we went down one pathway, and now, how many years later, that 1995 reforms did not really work out well. Whilst the idea is noble, we need to really look at it properly, to assess it so we find the best possible route, Mr. Assistant Speaker, to ensure that we are able to do it properly. we're able to do it properly. So we don't make mistakes. We don't listen to foreign advisors or whatever advice from other countries. Let's build a homegrown Papua New Guinean identity for our land bank to assist our citizens. That is very important. Too many times, sometimes I see a lot of our foreign development partners in good faith that bring in and assist us in some of these things, bring things in, and it doesn't come out the way we want it to be. Like the education system, now that we've reverted back, like the 95 reforms, we've reverted back. A few other things like that that we need to look at. So this one, whilst very critical, we need to look at it legally, look at the aspects, and make certain that when we go down that path, it's got to be the best path possible for our people. The concept, great, idea, great, and I'm totally on board with this. As a lands minister and also as a deputy prime minister, I stand closely to working with the committee and the Honourable Keith Iduhu to ensure that we go down that pathway to find a solution to alleviate the problems with customary land tenureship in Papua New Guinea, identification, survey, and a proper land bank that we can be able to utilize for our people. And whilst we go down that path, I'd like to also say that we have already started. This Parliament, in its wisdom, last year passed a bill on not selling land anymore, customary land, not selling land anymore. This Parliament passed it, and I would like to offer that thank you to the opposition, which know that this is very important, and we've all together stopped selling customary land to foreign ownership. So we need to protect our landowners. Sometimes you see, and you have heard in Parliament, that when people say, oh, the land near our periphery of cities and urban centers, and we have the same problem back home in my electorate also, that people continue to sell land. They continue to sell land for monetary, because they're not properly guided or there is no structure in place to assist them. So the pathway that we are going down now is a good way to holistically hold together and show a proper pathway, Mr. Assistant Speaker, so that we can be able to find the pathways to assist our people. We are now going down the pathway also of electronic titling. As I put out earlier in my report on immigration, lands also by the next couple of weeks, the Prime Minister will be called to launch the electronic titling system. So there will be no more double title, surveyanta plus survey, kind record loose, as outlined by the good chairman in his report. Those things have been problematic in lands for the last 50 years, and no one has done anything about it. So this time, this government has now been able to go down that path, Mr. Assistant Speaker, to ensure that now we have electronic titling, electronic survey, so no one can abuse that process anymore. And that will be very, very good for the future, whoever replaces me as Lands Minister down the track, Mr. Assistant Speaker, that will continue so we can have electronic records, so we don't have files going missing inside the Lands Office. We have a clear-cut process, so whoever handles the titling, whoever handles the records, you can show and see the fingerprints on it clear so that they don't play with the system. That will be launched in the next couple of weeks, Mr. Assistant Speaker. We have also gone down the path of, whilst we're going down the customary path, we need to also, in this, make it that our investors are not scared of going into a village and ensuring they have security of tenure to build an agricultural plantation of 100,000 hectares. They should not be scared of going down into a clan area and be able to deal clearly and concisely with the proper landowners. They don't want to be confused. And that tenure of ownership, I am certain the chairman in his report has already given that, and we'll both be working together on both sides of the House to find the clear pathway, Mr. Assistant Speaker, to fix this very, very important thing that underlines all Papua New Guinea, underlines our livelihood, underlines every individual sitting in this room, plus all Papua New Guineans everywhere. I see big hope in this, and I see that it is the answer to a lot of unbundling a lot of wealth in our nation, freeing up land, giving bankable, secure security of tenure to our people, identifying land, clear-cutting land processes, and also ensuring that investor confidence is made available so investors can come in without fear or favor in improving and developing in partnership with our landowners. Mr. Assistant Speaker, as I said earlier, it has to be a PNG-tailored solution, a mix of other things, but brought it and totally tailored for our people here. Mr. Assistant Speaker, we also need to look down at the land disputes resolution pathways. As I pointed out earlier, we have too many issues of land disputes and ownership. As Sir Puka rightfully pointed out, the ILG is a good concept, but it was abused. And it is something that, as spoken in public before, it is not very conducive to our way of life. One or too many educated elites in our country sometimes abuses that system, working together, and the poor guy in the village always misses out. So we need to make certain that we protect our individuals in the village so that this is not a repeated performance. Look at the SABLs. They were abused by the system before. Look at the ILG systems. They were abused by the system before. So when we go down this pathway to assist and fix the process, we must pick the right one, tailored for Papua New Guinea, that cannot be open to abuse and protect the rights of individual Papua New Guineans and individual clan owners. Clearly defined, clearly set pathways with dispute resolution processes in place. Once again, I would like to say thank you to the chairman and his committee. Thank you for inviting me to speak at the Parliamentary Committee. And as I said earlier, it is what government wants, an all-inclusive approach to this very important commodity that will unbundle wealth for our citizens and make them prosperous. And it shows that government is not just restrained. It didn't just say, me play it. It put in a good chairman and made certain a committee was set up in place so it can address this very fundamental issue, a very important issue. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
Kanaforo.
Speaker, I rise to contribute to this very important report here, and I commend the chairman and his team for great work. I think both sides of the House have all agreed that he's the right person to do this, and we support what he is doing. I just have a few comments to make that I thought I would make mention of here. Also taking note of Sepuka's wonderful presentation and that of the Deputy Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, there's a fundamental contradiction on laws that I just want to point out in regards to land and us being landowners. We claim that we are landowners. And we say 97% of our country is owned by landowners. But the fact is, we are surface landowners. And it's this that I want to speak about, surface landowners. And we were rendered surface landowners in 1992 with amendments to the Mining Act. This basically means that when the moment a drill bit touches the soil, the law tells our people they are strangers on their own land. Under the 1992 Mining Act, we have rendered our people surface landowners, effectively mere tenants on their ancestral soil. They own the grass while the state claims the gold. And this is not just a legal technicality, it is the root cause of every conflict from Panguna to Pogera. And the problem with this status quo, Mr. Speaker, is that the current system treats our landowners as impacted parties to be compensated for damage. We pay them a lousy 2% in royalties to watch their mountains disappear. Now, this beggar-at-the-gate model breeds resentment. When the people feel they are being robbed, they will pick up stones, they block roads, they shut down the very projects our national budget relies on. The Boca Contra Bill sought to fix this by demanding 100% ownership, but We know that total sudden shift risks are standing with international investors. So we need a bridge, not a cliff. And the proposed middle ground that I'm suggesting is the 70-30 split. And I think that's brought in the amendments to the new Mining Act, or the proposed new Mining Act. Now we know that the mining industry, as many extractive industry entities want to do, have very powerful lobby groups. And they will lobby against this. The fact of the matter is this is for the best interest of all of us, who are all landowners. And we must move, therefore, from state-centric ownership to co-sovereignty. We legally recognize that 30% of the mineral wealth in situ belongs to the customary clans. And the state retains 70% to fund the national interest, our schools, hospitals, and our infrastructure for all our provinces. But royalties to equity will ensure landowners stop receiving just a handout and start receiving a dividend. As 30% owners, they are partners in the joint venture. This gives our people a real seat at the board table. They aren't just consulted at a forum, they must give informed consent as co-owners. Now the critics will say this will scare away the mining giants. Well, I say the opposite. What scares away investors more than a change in law is a mine that is blown up or shut down because the local community feels cheated. Now by giving landowners 30% ownership, we give them 100% reason to protect the mine. We align the villagers' interest with the investors' interest, and we trade the uncertainty of civil unrest for the stability of genuine partnership. Mr. Speaker, let us not be remembered as the parliament that presided over the exploitation of its people. Let us be the parliament that gives the true landowners back their dignity. Let us pass a law that recognizes the wealth of PNG, that it belongs to the people of PNG, not just in name, but in title. Thus, I move that we consider this shared equity framework for the future of our sons and daughters. And therefore, when we do this, then we can say, truly we are landowners, and not just surface landowners. Because that's what's happened. That's what's happened. We didn't even know it in '92. Were the landowners consulted? You go and ask them now. Do they know that under the surface, under a certain depth, that's not their land? They have no idea about this. We have to be mindful of how we move on in the next 50 years. We don't want to repeat the mistakes of the last 50 years. In fact, some of those responsibilities that are upon us still remain. Amending these colonial laws, not our laws, their laws, amending them so that they become our laws for our people, for our future. Those are my concerns that I thought I would just add so that the good chairman and his team can take them on board. And another which I wanted to add is to do with alluvial mining, that not just alluvial mining, but mechanized alluvial mining must firmly remain in the hands of Papua New Guineans, and only Papua New Guineans. Only Papua New Guineans. With this, I just want to make a side note in regards to the previous presentation by the Deputy Prime Minister when he presented the migration report. I commend the Deputy Prime Minister for tremendous work that he is undertaking, overhauling that very important guardian of our country, the Immigration Office, and state that I want you to consider making amendments within this Immigration Act so that people who are naturalized citizens, as is the case in some countries, when they commit serious offenses, we must have the power to strip them of their citizenship and deport them back to their countries. I say this because a number of these characters, these insidious characters, are now operating in the alluvial mining space. So those are my thoughts. And I would like to also add, finally, that 1992 must not be repeated. In that, if we're going to make any serious amendments that's going to affect land ownership, so that our people are relegated to being surface landowners instead of being actual landowners, we must consult the people in a referendum. They must know what we are doing in here. They sent us in here, not to abandon them at the gates of Parliament, but to bring them in here and keep them informed of what we're doing on their behalf. On their behalf, not on the behalf of mining companies or extractive industry players, but on the behalf of our people, our future generations. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
The member for Yalebu Pankia.
Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to debate this very important issue, Bloc country. I'd like to congratulate the chairman of the committee and his members for an excellent work they have done, Mr. Speaker. Excellent work. Yesterday, we saw the passionate speech on a ministerial statement by Minister Jason Peter. Again, a very excellent report on gender-based violence. And secondly, today we had a presentation by the member for Talasia and the chairman of Public Accounts on the Connect PNG report. And when you see the makeup of those committees, you can see that many of them are first-time MPs who have come into this Parliament House and starting to work through these committees. It reflects a very passionate desire from these members in some of this work that they are carrying out, Mr. Speaker, and I congratulate them for that. And I think it's fair to say that the government has made a right choice in supporting these committees. We must continue to do that, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, why? Because these committees, through these inquiries, go directly to the public. They go throughout the country to hear and see for themselves what is happening and hear the thoughts and minds and the wishes of our people throughout the country. So, Mr. Speaker, I know many times we have called for more funding for many other projects and programs in the country, but I think I support the call by the Speaker on many occasions that the work of the committees needs to be funded properly. And the reflection of their work, you can see the examples that are presented, Mr. Speaker. These are work of first-time MPs who have never been able to have all ministerial positions or be in government or be a member of parliament in opposition and has the experience of this committee work. But they have come up with some very good work, and I commend them for it. But, Mr. Speaker, my short presentation about this land issue is that, again, I commend the Deputy Prime Minister for the work that you are doing in the department and the reforms that are taking place, Mr. Speaker. These are very necessary because without the security of the land titles and the ownership of land in the country, nothing will happen, Mr. Speaker. No investment, no investor or investment will take place in the country without the security of the land. And I guess that relates to the work of this committee, what they have done. Now, we've had many horror stories in the many years about land issues in the country, where people are grabbing land without proper process and procedures. Undeveloped land are sold for millions and millions of kina, and overnight millionaires becoming part of that process. Mr. Speaker, I think today this bill and this committee's report, especially the bill that has been drafted, it is something that the government and the Attorney General and the Minister for Lands should take on board and give it its most urgent priority, Mr. Speaker. I think, we cannot procrastinate anymore. There are very good recommendations captured in this bill. Now, when we talk about alienation, and when you hear about the stories of the evictions of our own citizens in cities right across the country, this is not necessary, Mr. Speaker. This is inhumane. They have right to settle in their own country, and they have right to have ownership of land. Without options, we are evicting them from land which is government-owned, of course. Leases are given to so-called business houses and business people and investors, but we are not looking after our people. That's the role of our government, role of this parliament, Mr. Speaker. So what this bill and the committee's work shows us clearly is that the ownership of the land must remain with our people, and that's what it should be rightly so, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think that the land ownership by the people and the way to monetize that is very encouraging, Mr. Speaker, as recommended in the bill. Many of us know the difficulties about registering customary land and then trying to capitalize that for business or development, Mr. Speaker. Now, this particular recommendation from our committee is that we can now have the opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to allow our landowners and our customary landowners to continue to have indefinite, perpetual ownership of the land without losing rights to it. But they are able to capitalize it and lease it out to either government or to investors for that matter. So as long as the ownership continues to remain with our people, Mr. Speaker, it doesn't matter wherever you go in the world. Probably 99% of the world, you'll see many of the land, the people do not own it. It is owned by governments or owned by businesses. And our people, their people tend to struggle to acquire even their first home in their respective countries. We are very unique and we are very fortunate that we have our tribal systems that continue, that the customary land ownership must remain with the community and the people, with common ownership, Mr. Speaker. And that we must not allow it to be diminished in whatever shape or form, Mr. Speaker. We cannot do away with that. That is the last protection that our people need in this country. It is the ownership of the land. And I know that debates about how we should develop it and how we should lease it out to government and so forth, it's debatable, but if we can have a process in which we can be able to register customary land as proposed by the bill through the good honorable chairman and his committee, Mr. Speaker, I think it deserves our support. It deserves our support, Mr. Speaker. Doesn't matter wherever you go in the world, and if you want to go and buy a land in China or United States or anywhere, you as a foreigner, you cannot just simply walk in through somebody's door and pick up a title, Mr. Speaker. It seems to be happening so frequently in this country. You know, yes. Well, me not giving one talk to you, one of your Chinese friends, some land, so don't accuse me of anything. But Mr. Speaker, you know, some of you are so close to the Chinese and everywhere, you know, we know what is going on. So let us not politicize this. This is too important. This is too important. Let us not politicize this. Let us have a bipartisan approach. I think the committee has done a great work. But I want to say this, you know, plan the line blue you mean. Or some governor blow oro itotok. Yes, only come up citizen am good pla. Me plan maslo. Only come contribute to development of the country blue you mean. But all the round under false pretense that trying to use them this law working business opportunity, we must have the right to revisit that. Look sim ground natin na. Working more can pass in no good lo country blue me. We can't do that in their country, Mr. Speaker. We can't do that anywhere in the world. But we seem to be allowing that to happen in our country, Mr. Speaker. So I propose that, I support that bill that has been presented by the good chairman in this committee. And I urge that Parliament support this and give it full attention. No good give me workload debate ikona. Different iko. But me encourage him, Deputy Prime Minister and Attorney General, please, you to go pass law, making sure this law bill gets the full attention it deserves, and let us bring it back into this Parliament so that we can all support it. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker.
The Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Assistant Speaker. Just to add to the debate, firstly, I would like to wholeheartedly commend the Special Parliamentary Committee on Customary Land and Land Reforms in Papua New Guinea for an outstanding work, and their chairman, the Honourable Keith Iduhu, for his brilliant leadership and for just working to produce something that is demonstrates passion for country, commitment to the cause, and a love for the people and the land. I stand here to just simply say that in any economy, there's 4 factors of production: labor, capital, entrepreneurship, and land. Land is so instrumental to development. Now, he's highlighted in his speech how we have an indelible and inextricable link between the people and land in Papua New Guinea because of our unique customs and traditions. If 3% of the land in Papua New Guinea is worth 40 billion kina, and that comprises the overall size of the economy, we can only imagine what the 96% of customary land will be valued. And the beauty about the proposition here and the proposed bill is that the land ownership remains with the customary landowners, Acting Speaker. I think this is just pivotal to promoting this bipartisan approach. And I thank the Prime Minister for his vision in having this committee formed, and for the Deputy Prime Minister to champion the participation with the committee and support them all along the way. Without this leadership by both the Prime Minister and especially the Deputy Prime Minister, this wouldn't have happened, because the committee would not have had the support or the inspiration to get this done. So we can't continue to come here and talk about something that's so important to everybody in the country. And I put it in context. If I am a young Papua New Guinean trying to go to the banks to approach them for a loan to start an SME or start any kind of business, I will just simply get knocked back, because they will not recognize that I am a landowner. And this is so crucial to my identity. And with this work of the committee, of the good committee, and the proposed bill, all Papua New Guineans, especially the youth bulge, which represents about 60% of the population, and according to the census, if that's 10 million people, that means we have about 6 million people that comprise the youth. And the majority of this youth are unemployed. This work by the good committee and their chairman has the potential to be catalytic. It has the potential to be a game changer, because the government can now address the youth bulge issue, that is a pandemic in the country. It can address mass youth unemployment. It can reduce crime through legislation that protects landowners and empowers them, because it makes all the land bankable. Bankable, for the first time in history. This is unprecedented, and it is an opportunity for this government to do something that has never been done before for our people. And I wholeheartedly support the suggestion by Sepuka Temu, his debate, and the former Prime Minister and the good Governor for Oro, that this should be brought in, revised immediately by government, by the Deputy Prime Minister and the Prime Minister and government, and brought in to be passed immediately by next week. We don't have any time to waste. This is not political. This is for the people. So with that, Acting Speaker, I wholeheartedly support the bill and thank the good work of the Chairman and his committee. Thank you, Acting Speaker.
Okay, Honourable Prime Minister.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Assistant Speaker. Pass them through me like joining all fellow members of Parliament to congratulate the Chairman and his committee for coming up with an excellent report to Parliament. Lagu Chairman, oi committee gau karabe namohirea. And I want to say, and Sepuka, a senior in our Parliament, former Prime Minister, a senior in our Parliament, and all ministers, including Deputy Prime Minister, has recognized the importance of this work. It is a bipartisan committee, and I want to say Parliamentary committee is important. In our 50th year of reset, we recognize the work of parliamentary committees. In most instances, we recognize that it must be bipartisan always. And so we've allowed, for instance, we have the majority to displace the Honorable Kid Idu from this role. But we know he has a passion for this space. I know from a fact when he arrived in our government camp in Lolowata, he spoke passionately about land, especially from the backdrop where his own people, the precinct of our city, have been victimized in terms of land grabbing and unplanned squatter and settling. And so we felt that a son of Motu Koita, a son nearby in the vicinity of the city, must take charge of this matter, look into how we should propose, not only to address the immediate needs, but more importantly, to work going forward. And him being a lawyer himself, understand clearly the underlying laws of our country, in fact, could marry what the work is doing with the underlying Act of 2000 to making sure that the traditional landowners of our country are given the right place going forward without being displaced. And so I want to join the chorus of leaders who've echoed the support. If you care to look at our nation's history, this is just about the right timing to look into land conversation. The Bible in Leviticus chapter 25, verses 11, talks about 49 years, and then the land conversation is re-engaged upon. And so we've had 49 years of experiment in the way we deal with land, and state has remained confined to 3%. That has been 3% of land, that has been an impediment in itself. But the expansion of land outside from the 3% will certainly encroach upon traditional lands. And we don't want to alienate land from our people. How do they maintain the inherent rights that is underlying to PNG's custom and customary practices? And so this committee was established, and in the year of reset, the Kit Idu Committee has brought to this Parliament an important set of recommendations. And I want to ask members on the government side that let's embrace this recommendation, and we overlay with what we must do, as most leaders have said, in haste, and making sure before we step out into our 51st year on 17th of September this year, we must have completed this work and to give certainty to the inherent rights of our people to their land, but link our people to the formal economy going forward. Something that our country has that is almost unmatched anywhere else, and I want to register my greatest appreciation to the founders and fathers of our country and mothers of our country. At 1975, bearing the advice from Governor of Oro that maybe the Mining Act amendment may have displaced the full inherent right to our people, but the overall architecture of our Constitution allows that land remains in the hands of our people. This work by the Idu Committee is very timely and relevant, especially when this government pursues to mobilize traditional land and people to the formal economy. Unregistered land properly in the hands of those who have rights over their own land will not assist that ambition in a big way. 80% of our people remain in the rural enclaves. They sit on their land. Most of them work hand to mouth in the subsistence economy. In our intention to migrate them to the formal economy, this work that the Idu Committee has worked upon is timely, and our government looks forward to embrace this. I just give you an example. I drove down from Kupiano into Alatau just before September 16th last year. I stopped 66 times. That's the first time ever we had connected Central Province to Millen Bay. And I want to thank the member for Alatau, the Honorable Ricky Morris, who met me at Gadusu. But as we were driving through Amazon Bay and Cloudy Bay, 66 times we stopped along the way. There was an elder who came out to us at Margarita, and he said, Mr. Prime Minister, 5,000 hectares remain state land. These were abandoned for the last 50 years. We had rubber on before. There are massive land still available. And almost every stop along the way, people said, thank you for the road. We now want to get on into the formal economy. They have land, the most important piece of collateral any person would want
for linking to the formal economy is land. Land remains the underlying #1 asset base for any lending collaterals. Now, meeting and linking that person, his land, to the formal economy has been the missing piece. I want to register my appreciation to the Deputy Prime Minister in his work as Lands Minister. He stopped. So to all the Papua New Guineans, you haram this la talk. All the ground block country now, you may stop in finish la outright sale. Law is stop finish, you non have salim ground. You salim ground and you burg him law and you salim ground. I mean, koi belasi, me talk through. You salim ground and you broke him law now. In Motu Koita land, Budibam land, Tari land, anywhere in our country, we've already outlawed sales of land. The reason we outlaw is this. We knew Honorable Idu's committee is at work. Our own executive government work is there. We'll marry these two, and we will link land people to the formal economy. And I want to ask all of us, and correctly said earlier by preceding speakers, this is a work that we must do at haste. And before we step out of the 50th year, we must have completed this work in its total clarity, and I want to encourage our people. Fear not this work we're trying to do. This is not alienating land from you, this is properly registering land. Ground below you, one of you stop, you register him, you hold him title. It is yours perpetually. The underlying law is talking below you. Here this our ground below you now. We want to link you and your land to a formal registry. Before, all Papa Saulong Tumuna story, Mama Saulong Tumuna story. This generation, more so my children's generation, would lose the Tumuna story belong ground. And so when the older generation is not yet fully demised, we must work in haste to properly register land across our country, making it possible for the security of land tenureship, as well as linking our people to productive economic activities going forward into the future. And I want to say to this committee, we offer our full support. We're looking forward to working with this committee and mirroring the work that our Lands Department is doing so that we can unlock the greatest economic potential our people have in their own land. They see it right across the entire 462,840 square kilometers of land that is called Papua New Guinea today. Thank you very much.
The question is that the question be put. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until tomorrow at 10 o'clock a.m.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now adjourn the Parliament to tomorrow 10 o'clock a.m.